tree. It's good for you and it's food for me. Oh, grow, God makes things grow. Grow whatever seed I sow, from the heavens above to the earth below. He's the one who makes things grow. He's the one I want to know.
Hello boys and girls, good to see you again on another sunny day. And can you guess from my background what theme we're covering this week? Yes, it's 2016. 4 years ago we covered the theme of Farmtastic, growing with our faithful God. And what excitement and competition there was between the teams, between New Holland, John Deere and Massey Ferguson. It all went completely over my head, of course, because a tractor's a tractor to me, is it not? And we covered Joseph's story. And Joseph was the favourite son, and as such he had many privileges. He had got a beautiful coloured coat, and the brothers didn't see the beautiful colours. The only colour they saw was red, and they'd had enough in all the privileges that Joseph had been getting. So they threw him in a pit, and then he was sold as a slave. And I hope you're not ready to do that to your family, either throw them in a pit or sell them. We don't want that. We're hoping you're getting on really well with all your family and having a great time together. But Joseph was privileged, but he went from being privileged to being sold as a slave, and then he spent many years in prison. And Joseph, through that time, was growing with God, and he became a man of integrity, with great faith, who was always faithful to God. But you know, God was with him every step of the way, and he had a plan for his life. So many years later, Joseph interprets Pharaoh's dream, and lo and behold, he finds himself in charge of Egypt during a great famine. And after a while, his brothers were hungry, and their dad sent them down to Egypt to get food, because news had spread that Egypt had food. So along comes Joseph's brothers. It could have ended very badly. Joseph had been really badly treated by his brothers. He could have been resentful, but thankfully he saw the bigger picture, and he could see that God had a plan through it all to provide not just for him, but for his entire family over that time. And God was faithful to Joseph in prison, and in that time he learned to wait patiently and to trust God. And I know that you might feel like you're living in a prison at the minute, and it's not easy. But during this time, why don't you listen to some worship? I love listening to worship in the background all the time. So why don't you try doing that? Why don't you read your Bible? And why don't you take this time to grow in God and trust his perfect plan for your life? Now, once again, I have a challenge for you, boys and girls. So I'm going to head over here, over where you can see my happy helper, and he has got the challenge for you today. So the challenge is, I want you to plant something or water something that you've watered. Send me a wee video of something that you've planted or watered. You might have been able to see Dad's potatoes in the background when I was talking. They're not up yet, but he has faithfully planted them, and in due time they will grow. Or you could go onto the farm and you could take a photo of yourself with one of the crops growing on the farm, or with one of your favourite animals, or with one of those favourite tractors. Do remember, if it isn't your own farm, to get permission to go onto the farm. You could learn one of today's Bible verses, which is Romans 8:28 or Joshua 1:9. Or why don't you go and look up Joseph's story, beginning Genesis 37. Don't forget to send me a WhatsApp, and I'll just show you our Bible verses. I'm not sure whether you're able to see them. Yes, they're there in the background. Those are our Bible verses for this week, so why don't you do that? Look them up, learn them, and send me a wee video. Can't wait to see everything again this week. Bye for now.
There's the light of